Do you have an Etsy shop that's just not making sales, or maybe even worse, it was making sales and now it's not? Then keep watching this video because I have some great tips and tricks and advice to give you to get your shop moving and making sales again. Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So I am Steph, and if you're new here, hey, welcome to the family. Boss, I am here to teach you how I have created a six-figure handmade business on Etsy that I run full-time. Now, you are watching this because you have a shop that is either just completely dried up and is not making sales, or maybe it's never made sales and you're just not sure why, and you're close to like giving up. You're this close to just going, stuff it, I'm not even going to do it, right? I'm going to be telling you exactly how I would get my shop moving if I was in the same boat as you. But before we get into it, give this video a thumbs up, get more people to watch it. That's my mission, is to help more handmade businesses get the freedom and the life they deserve. And by giving that video a little thumbs up, you're helping me do that. So thank you so much. So before we dive into how can we fix our shop, right? I really want to preface it by saying that we all have slow times. If you have been in business for less than a year, then to be quite honest with you, you are still feeling out the peaks and the troughs of business. It's completely normal. If you were to kind of back me into a corner and say, when's the slowest time on average, Steph? I would say to you that the warmer months are usually the slower times. Why? Well, especially in the UK, the kids are off for the majority of the summer. So that means that parents are desperately trying to entertain their children, right? And also people are not spending a lot of time indoors. It's not raining outside. They're out having fun at the beach, going for walks, picnics, all that good stuff. So they're not online shopping, okay? So you've really got to just accept the fact that Christmas may have been great for you, but there will be slower times as well. And it is a complete learning journey. So if you haven't been in business for more than a year, then this may be your slow time. So do not panic. It's completely normal. It's a lesson that we all learn. But my tip number one is that you have to understand that 90% of businesses that fail because they spend money and time fixing the wrong thing, okay? And this is something that is really hard to get your head around, right? This is why Handmade Bosses, we fix things based on data, not based off of emotions or feeling things out, right? We fix things based off of data. Because what happens is that people will panic, and this may have been you, and if it is you, let me know in the comments, no shame here. But people panic and they start to go, oh my goodness, sales are slow, right? I need to change my SEO up, or I need to add more products, or I need to pay to have my items featured in a magazine or on Instagram or in a blogger or a vlogger. And they panic and they throw time and money, which to be honest is precious resources in your first year of business, and even in your first 3 years, right? You cannot just throw money and time at the wrong problems, which is why I'm saying to you, look back at your last 3 to 6 months of data and start to play detective, which leads me on to point number 2. I'm interrupting my own video to ask you a question. So you're watching this because you want more Etsy sales, right? And did you know that conversion rate is absolutely the key if you want to do that on Etsy and beyond? You want to build a thriving business, an amazing brand, all on Etsy. If you want to do that, then you need to grab this free masterclass. It's insanely valuable. It's happening today. Secure your free spot using the link in the description box below, and I can't wait to see you on the inside. Now, let's get back to the video. Look at that data and start to answer these questions, right? What were your views/visits? What sold well that week? And we are doing this on a weekly basis. So what were your views/visits? What sold well that week? What traffic sources worked really well for you? What social media channels worked well? Did you do anything different? Did you release any new products? Did you send any emails? And the next thing we want to be doing in tip number 2 is we want to be identifying any spikes, any anomalies. So what tends to happen is that we tend to, we'll do something great. So like we'll send an email out, or we'll go live in our Facebook group or something like that, right? And then we'll have a spike one week. And when we're in that week, we're like, yeah, money's rolling in, great. But we're not taking notes. We're not saying, right, okay, note to future self, if we want money, do this again. So now what you have to do is you have to kind of play detective and go back through your stats and have a look and kind of really dig deep and think back to what you did that caused the spike in the first place. Because if that's working for your brand and for your audience, clearly we want to be doing that more. So tip number 3 is to, just for a second, and you might have got all dizzy and excited because you found things, and that's great. But just for a second, put that info aside, because we are going to be using that later. But my tip number 3 is to reconnect with your target audience. Go into the places where they hang out. My favorite way to do this is to actually go into Facebook groups where your target audience hangs out. So let's say, for example, that you sell nursery art prints. Go into mum groups. Be a fly on the wall. Listen to your target market, right? You're not there to necessarily interact, but you're actually just there just to listen and see how they talk, what kind of problems they have, what kind of objections they are coming up against, right? And just really take a note of anything that's of interest to you, right? So you're really just trying to reconnect with your target audience in this step. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about your target audience, right? Do you know who they are? What have you discovered about them? Let me know in the comments, because I'd be really interested to hear. So tip number 4 is that now you've got those 2 sources of info from step number 1, 2, and 3. Now we need to look at your shop from a shopper's perspective. So take your shop owner hat off, put that to one side, and put your shopper hat on now, right? So you need to be looking at your shop from your target market's perspective. And I've got some questions down here. Does it attract them? Does your shop attract your target market? Really, honestly, sincerely, does it do that job? Does your shop do a good job at persuading them to buy, right? Again, look at your listings and say, if I was my target market, which you might well be, by the way, and that's totally fine. If I was my target market, would I really buy this? And be super honest. And if that's not working for you, you might even want to go into your target market Facebook group and ask a couple of questions. Maybe even private message a couple of members and say, hey, would you mind just looking at this and just telling me what you think about it? It's all free, guys, and all super valuable. These are things that big companies pay millions of dollars for, and I'm giving you the way to do it for free. So definitely give it a go. Look at your shop and ask yourself, am I communicating the value of my items toward my target customer? Does my target customer understand why they need this item in their lives? Most purchases on Etsy are actually an emotional purchase, right? So you have to do a really good job at making the customer be like, if I bought this, it would make this pain point better for me. And it's all about really drilling deep into that, which is why I'm saying go and actually talk to your target customer, right? Tip number 5 is to, from all of these data points that we've got, and you better have done this, boss. If you're sat there saying you're not getting sales and you haven't done all of those previous steps, I'm giving you the roadmap, boss. Go and do those steps. But tip number 5 is to choose only 3 areas to work on in your shop. The last thing you want to do is go through and change everything, because that's going to overwhelm the heck out of you. And also, if you've been getting sales in the past, your target audience liked something about your shop. So you don't want to be the shop that changes everything, launches, and then is still seeing crickets. So pick 3 areas of your shop. It could be photos, it could be SEO, it could be description, it could be anything, and work on those 3 areas. Then you have to wait at least 6 weeks, and I know it is a waiting game, and record the data again and go back through and do those steps over and over again. And that is basically what I would say to really kick your shop into high gear, right? And start getting those sales. But boss, I'm going to be honest with you. If you're still struggling with this and you want like a real easy masterclass to just watch and be like, right, this is how I'm going to get more sales, then you definitely want to go and grab your free spot in my 80-minute extremely valuable masterclass, the 3-step framework to skyrocket your Etsy conversion rate. Conversion rate is basically the ratio of people coming into your shop versus how many people are buying. And if you want to increase your conversion rate, then you want to be looking at that masterclass and really watching it and taking note, right? So the link for that is in the description box below. And if you haven't already, boss, watch these 2 videos as they are going to really, really help you in your shop next. Give this video a big, big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. But for now, guys, I shall find you over on the next video. Bye, everyone.